Central Washington's news leaders: Heidi Adami, Gary Peixoto Sports, Stu Seibel weather. This is KIMA NewsBeat at 11.
Good evening. It's a discovery more gruesome than the movie Silence of the Lambs. Police today in Milwaukee wore yellow rubber suits and breathed from air tanks while removing boxes of body parts from a fly-infested apartment. As Jay Levine reports, it was perhaps the suspect who lived in this apartment's next victim that escaped, who was able to lead police to the gruesome discovery.
This is what it looked like late last night. Police began to gather evidence after coming to the apartment with the man who claimed to have been attacked here.
We seen a guy, police bring a guy back, a young guy back, and he had one handcuff on and everything, and he was complaining about somebody in the building that was harassing him.
Inside, the horrifying discovery of body parts in drawers, preserved human heads in a refrigerator, and IDs belonging to several local men who'd been reported missing. The suspect was quickly taken into custody.
When the police came in, they came with all kind of chains and handcuffs, and they chained him down.
He was kicking and scratching and hollering like a cat.
It's obvious that there has been a number of human specimens found within the apartment, and to a certain extent they have been there sometime.
More human bones were reportedly found late this afternoon in a dumpster out behind the apartment building, as police continue to search the area for evidence, pouring through trash containers, combing weeded areas out back, scouring the inside of the one-bedroom apartment for clues. Neighbors, even friends of the suspect, said they smelled something wrong a year ago.
It stunk.
What did it smell like?
Rotten meat.
And you noticed it, and he said he had a problem with his freezer?
Yeah, with his freezer.
And you believed him?
Yeah, I didn't have any. Why should I suspect him?
The neighborhood, meanwhile, remains in a state of shock, awaiting the true dimensions of the crime, charges against the suspect, and word on whether or not he acted alone. Jay Levine for CBS News, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee police tonight have confirmed the identity of the suspect. He is 31-year-old Jeffrey Dahmner. The Milwaukee Sentinel tonight is quoting an unidentified source as saying Dahmner has confessed to killing 11 men. The newspaper also says there may have been as many as 18 victims and that the man has confessed to cannibalism. The Milwaukee Sentinel also quotes other sources who say police found 11 skulls scattered in a file cabinet, a closet, a refrigerator, and a freezer. 3 headless torsos were also reportedly found in the men's bedroom. Police will not confirm the reports. Dahmner's only prior criminal conviction was second-degree sexual assault for enticing a child for immoral purposes. He is currently on probation for that charge. He is officially being held on suspicion of homicide. A third man has been arrested in connection with a weekend homicide in the Lower Valley. Bail was set at $150,000 this morning for Isidro Villegas of Wapato. He is being held as a material witness in the murder of Marciano Castillo of Sunnyside. Authorities say Villegas was standing 5 to 10 feet away when the victim was shot in an illegal cockfight near Grandview. 2 other Villegas brothers are expected to be charged in the case tomorrow. Law enforcement authorities are still looking for 2 other men in connection with the murder. An autopsy today revealed that Villegas died from multiple gunshot wounds to the head and body. The shots came from a .45 caliber revolver and a 9mm handgun. Yakima Valley farm workers have asked county commissioners to declare the county a disaster area so assistance can be provided to unemployed workers. Farm workers have had a tough time this year staying employed. Work in the asparagus harvest was slow and rain wiped out many prospective jobs in the cherry harvest. A spokesman for Central Campesino says many farm worker families are in need of financial help because jobs have been scarce. By declaring the county a disaster area, state and federal funds may be made available to farm workers. County commissioners say they are willing to help if state and federal money is available. However, no commitment was made to provide any money from county coffers. 3 American soldiers have died in an explosion near the U.S. military camp at Doha, Kuwait. The U.S. military reports the soldiers were clearing ammunition remaining from a fire that broke out earlier this month at the camp. Officials haven't determined the cause of today's accident, but have discounted hostile action or sabotage. The names of the soldiers are being withheld until their relatives can be notified. The Senate has taken a slap at China and at President Bush. By a 55-44 vote, lawmakers tonight made renewal of China's most favored nation trade status next year, contingent upon fulfilling a long list of strict new conditions. The vote is short of the 2/3 majority needed to override an expected presidential veto. NASA put the finishing touches on the shuttle Atlantis tonight as it's prepared for its trip into space with a satellite that will serve as a switchboard for ships and observatories circling the world. Weather is a concern for the launch as showers or possible thunder showers are forecasted. In fact, NASA says a chance of good weather at the scheduled liftoff tomorrow morning close to 8 a.m. our time is 50-50 at best.
That's right. They've been getting quite a few showers and thunderstorms in the southeast. Not quite as heavy as in the Ohio Valley, but they had some damaging windstorms in northeastern Ohio earlier today. In Yakima now, we're 72 degrees, humidity 64%, winds northwesterly at 13, barometer rising 29.92. High temperature today hit 96 degrees. Low this morning was 54. Around the area tonight, it's still hot in some areas. Tri-Cities with 92 still. Their high temperature for the afternoon hit 107. In Ellensburg, 73. Down at Grandview, it's still 78 degrees. Now here's your forecast. For tonight, fair except some high clouds. Low about 58 degrees. For tomorrow morning at 8, partly cloudy and 67. Not quite so hot tomorrow. At noon up to 86 degrees. In the afternoon, partly cloudy. Chance of showers or thunder showers with a high around 93 degrees. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, chance of showers or thunder showers with a low of 58 degrees. Record high temperatures around the state, 99 at Seattle today. And incidentally, that other Washington with the D.C. behind it, yes, they had a record high of 99 degrees today. Wow. Oh, Congress was hot.
It must have been, thanks to. And in sports tonight, not too hot out at the Parker Field, but maybe it was hot action-wise.
In Yankee Stadium, it was very hot tonight because we're going to talk about the Mariners first, who are very hot, playing .750 ball since the All-Star break as they continue their winning ways tonight in New York in the first of 3 with the Yankees. And the kid adds another first to his long list of accomplishments. The M's trailed 1-0 in the 5th before Harold Reynolds will single to right. That would score Greg Briley and Scott Bradley, who would also come across the plate to make it 2-1 as Reynolds will get thrown out trying to run down to second base. It stayed 2-1 until the top of the 9th with the sacks juiced. Up comes the kid and Lee Guterman. That'll be the answer to the question, who served up King Griffey Jr.'s first Major League Grand Slam, Jr.'s 11th home run of the season. Randy Johnson picks up the win to improve to 8-7, while the M's moved within 6 games of Minnesota, which lost at Detroit tonight. Meanwhile in Chicago, the Cubs and Reds and Andre Dawson getting rung up on this awful pitch as Joe West calls him out on a 3rd strike. Dawson is usually very level-headed, just goes off. He gets ejected from the game. Out comes Jim Essien, who will also get tossed. Meanwhile, Dawson will go back to the bat rack, says, hey, I want him to know I'm very upset about this, grabs a handful of bats, says, here, Joe West, try these on for size. No, I'm really mad. You know how mad I am? Look, I'm going to give you another handful, as he will reach into the bat rack and toss some more out. The fan gets into it then. Look at the bleacher bums out in left field of Wrigley Field, tossing their cups full of beer and everything. Only at Wrigley Field, the Cubs end up winning the game 8-5. Later in that game, Rob Dibble, who got ejected earlier, he got fined for or suspended earlier this year, threw at a runner and he got ejected. So a lot of fun. No ejections at Parker Field tonight, but a very, very good ball game as far as the Bears are concerned. They keep winning, and a whole lot of other things in sports shortly.
Obviously, all the heat was in Chicago.
Oh, yes.
All right. Thanks a lot, Gary. Just ahead on NewsBeat, Yakima City Council members ponder ways to stretch dollars as they debate 2 major spending proposals today. You might be a millionaire. We'll tell you what lottery officials say you should watch out for. And it's the latest in video games, and it's wild. We'll show you.
There's a reason people choose Seafirst over other banks. Because wherever you are, whenever you need us, we're there. Right in your neighborhood and at your fingertips, even on Saturday, with faster, easier banking and more help. Service we call Excel service.
When you're looking for that final touch in vinyl floor covering, compare the selection and price of Armstrong and Nairn at Floyd's Home Center in Toppenish. Nairn floor covering is the install-it-yourself flooring that's so easy, it's guaranteed. You can install it yourself over most surfaces without adhesive. See the selection at Floyd's, now up to 35% off. And for installed vinyl, see Floyd's selection of Armstrong in many colors and patterns to fit your home decor, with savings up to 25% off selected lines at Floyd's Home Center in Toppenish. And don't forget to say hi to Shelby.
You sure this is the right street? I saw the sign, but I can't see any numbers.
It's bad enough when people can't find your house when you're having a party.
It's supposed to be a party.
Look for a lot of cars.
But what if there's a child at your house who's suddenly stopped breathing?
Come on, we're wasting time.
Okay, hit the siren.
House numbers that can be seen clearly from the street can save a lot of time. Make sure your house is easy to find, just in case your family ever needs help in a hurry.
Over here, over here.
A special message for kids' sake.
It's the nuttiest sale of the year. Big R Peanut Days are here again with free peanuts and Pepsi and a whole store full of nutty great buys. Save on Lily Miller Grasshopper and Earwig Bait, now $4.49. Grab your favorite 2-liter Pepsi products, now just 99 cents each. Get ready for canning season. Big R is Kerr Canning headquarters. Save now with nutty special prices on all canning supplies. And check the nutty prices on all your favorite Planters peanut products. It's Peanut Days at Big R, Union Gap, and Sunnyside.
The Yakima Crisis Pregnancy Center presents in concert Ray Bolts, Tuesday, August 6th at 7 p.m. at the Christian Life Center in Yakima. Tickets are available by calling 452-9830 or 248-CARE. This summer's hottest is KIMA TV Channel 29.
The Yakima City Council has 2 days to decide if it has enough money to buy some beds in the minimum security prison being built by the county. The county will go ahead with space for 200 beds in the facility unless the city would like to pay for the addition of a mezzanine level and up to 100 more beds for city prisoners. City leaders are concerned, however, about the cost of maintaining and operating those beds on down the line.
We don't need the beds. You were the ones that came to us back in October, November, said you needed 100 beds. We now found you 100 beds cheaper than any place else you can get them in the state of Washington, probably in the nation. And we're offering that to you, and that's basically where we are on this thing.
The difficulty we have is being able to match that against what our revenue base is to operate on the long term.
The county has asked for a decision from city leaders by Thursday. We'll let you know what decision is made. Fruit row operators in the Yakima City Council are at odds. They faced off today over the cost of rebuilding First Avenue. NewsBeat's Ken Crockett has our report.
North First Avenue is the lifeline for Yakima's fruit row industry, and everyone agrees that the road needs to be improved. The city has qualified for a $1.1 million low-interest loan from the Public Works Trust Fund, but the problem is the city does not have the $500,000 matching share. Under consideration was a proposal to require businesses on the street to pay 50% of the cost of the project by forming a limited improvement district.
I think it would be very productive if you gentlemen would drive down that street right now, see all the potholes, all the rough spots, and then just consider how important it is to Yakima to have the fruit industry. I mean, that's us, isn't it? That's who we are.
You know, we have a new trolley, we have a new sun dome, we don't have a new road. And the road is so bad that, I mean, it's beating up trucks and it beats up fruit.
I'm taking exception that, you know, we don't contribute, and that somehow or another that if we don't do this, everybody will march out of town. If the only reason agribusiness is located on that is because they have that road, I can't believe that's a good enough reason.
I think it's real inaccurate when you consider the economic base that fruit provides this town. It is this town. All of the related retail comes from fruit and agriculture.
The council still hopes to save the project and indicated it would be willing to find more money if the fruit row businesses promised to pay at least 30% of the total cost. The issue is expected to be back before the City Council next week. This is Ken Crockett reporting for NewsBeat.
The city could lose over $1 million in low-interest loans unless an agreement can be reached soon. William Kennedy Smith was, quote, ferocious and almost animal-like, says a former medical student who says she was raped by Smith in 1988. A statement of that woman and 2 others who say they were sexually assaulted by Smith were released today, one day after disclosure of their allegations. One of the women says she was dating Smith's cousin when twice she fought off Smith's attacks in 1983 in New York. Another woman, now a practicing doctor, says she talked Smith into stopping an assault on her in 1988. One of the women says she thinks William Kennedy Smith may have a psychological problem and he should get some help to help him deal with his feelings about women. Smith's rape trial for allegedly assaulting a Florida woman is scheduled for August 5th. The National Transportation Safety Board has issued an urgent safety recommendation concerning Boeing jets. The NTSB says pilots flying the same type of jetliner, 767s, that crashed recently in Thailand should be given more detailed instructions about what to do if a warning light shows failure of the thrust reversal system. That system is used to slow a plane when landing and somehow deployed in the air just before the crash that killed more than 230 people. Witnesses and investigators looking for the cause of yesterday's ship collision in the Strait of Juan de Fuca say a language barrier may have contributed to that disaster. Improper navigation procedures and heavy congestion around the Strait of Juan de Fuca may have also contributed to the collision of 2 Asian ships. One Japanese crewman is still missing and presumed dead after one of those ships sank in yesterday's accident. Well, you could be a millionaire and just not know it yet. State lottery officials suggest you double-check any lotto tickets you may have bought recently because no one has claimed the $1.5 million from the May 1st drawing. In fact, lotto officials are giving you an extra day to turn it in. The ticket must be redeemed by Monday, October 28th in order to collect the prize. Winners usually have 180 days from the date of the drawing to claim the prize, but because the period ends on Sunday, officials have graciously extended that period to Monday. If no one claims the prize, it could be the 5th in lotto history to expire.
What were those numbers?
Checking his numbers.
2? No.
Oh, that's not a lotto ticket.
Darn, I thought I had the numbers. The Bears had the right numbers tonight out at Parker Field. We will share the highlights with you and talk about the rest of sports when NewsBeat continues.
It's the one that gets used. U.S. West Direct.
Service is a hallmark of all successful businesses. Without quality service, everyone suffers. At McKinney's Auto Glass, we have built our reputation for giving you only the best products with caring service. It is our goal to treat every customer with respect and in a manner that will reflect our commitment to service. When you need your windshield replaced or repaired, give us a call. Thank you for trusting us at McKinney's Auto Glass. We're at home under the blue sign on South First Street.
Mr. Wilkins, how did you get your hands on this vital government information?
It came from Pueblo, Colorado, sir.
This entire listing of government booklets? And how much did you pay for this catalog?
It was free.
Now, sir, help me understand why our government would allow you access to everything they know about money, food, federal benefits, exercise, jobs, and cars for free.
Well, I did pay for the stamp to get it.
So you procured this through the mail. Who was your contact?
My mailman?
I mean, to whom did you write?
Oh, I sent my name and address to Free Catalog, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009.
And you received this consumer information catalog and sample booklets for free?
When they ask what you paid for this information, tell them nothing.
Absolutely free.
Case dismissed.
You're watching KIMA NewsBeat, the news leader.
Hello again, everyone. The Yakima Bears continue to play top-notch baseball at Parker Field. After last night's exciting 1-0 win in 13 innings, the Bears come back by routing Boise tonight for their 5th straight win. The game was tied at 1 in the bottom of the first when the Bears took the lead for good. Todd Hollinsworth with a single through the left side. That plated Murph Proctor and made it 2-1 Bears after 1. The Bears led 3-1 in the third when Don Myers comes to the plate and rips this one off the base of the right field wall, just right of the scoreboard there. He later scored on a sac fly to make it 4-1 Yakima. Bears pitcher Don Carroll was looking for his first victory of the season, and he would get it, working 6 innings tonight, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits and striking out 1 to improve to 1-4. And in the 5th, the Bears explode. Ron Richard, the hot hitter tonight, he goes 4 for 5, raising his batting average over 100 points as he picks up a pair of RBI. The Bears score 7 times in the inning and now lead Bellingham by 4.5 games in the Northwest League's Northern Division. Yakima pitching coach Tony Arnold is out of town with his pregnant wife for 3 days, so Dodger minor league pitching instructor Dave Wallace will fill in during the Boise series. Ordinarily, Wallace would travel throughout the Dodgers minor league system, spending very few precious minutes with each pitching prospect.
We have a plan for these guys as they come into the season, so I come in for the 5 days, see the rotation, see the guys pitch out of the bullpen, and just check on things overall, and maybe if I see some things that Tony hasn't picked up or he sees some things he wants to incorporate, we put our minds together and come up with a plan.
I've learned a lot about pitching. I came in short on the baseball where I was throwing the ball maybe 84, 85, and with the techniques and stuff that Joe, Dave, and Tony have been working me with, I've learned how long on the ball. That means stretching my arm out. That way my fastball is like 88, 89 now, and it's been very beneficial.
Wallace has been instrumental in building many a young pitcher, including Orel Hershiser. The two met up in winter ball in 1984. That was the year before Hershiser made the Dodger roster. The two have become very good friends, and Wallace says it was tough watching Hershiser go through the rotator cuff problems, but it was the man's will that helped him through.
Well, it's very difficult, but always in the back of my mind and the back of Orel's mind and Dr. Job's, Pat Screener, everybody involved, what you have is a very, very rare young man, a guy who's willing to pay the price and work, and we all believe that that's one of the only reasons that Orel came back as well as he did, is because of the work he's put in.
Wallace will be in the dugout again tomorrow when the Bears take on Boise again. Finally tonight in France, American Greg LeMond, who has won the last Tour de France, in dramatic fashion will have to do the same if he's going to win the 1991 version. LeMond falls further behind today in the 17th stage. The two-time defending champion is now 6 minutes and 39 seconds behind overall leader Spaniard Miguel Anduran. 5 stages remain in cycling's premier event. So things don't look don't look too good for Greg at this point, but we'll see. He has done it before, and he may do it again.
All right, thanks a lot, Gary. Weather and more in just a moment. Stay with us.
In recent years, doctors have discovered a flaw in eggs. They're extremely high in cholesterol, and a diet high in cholesterol and fat can contribute to the risk of heart disease. Nutritionists at Fleischmann's have found a way to overcome this flaw with Fleischmann's Egg Beaters, the only one that's 99% real egg with 0 cholesterol and 0 saturated fat. Next time you love an egg, crack open a carton. Fleischmann's Egg Beaters, the great tasting egg without a flaw.
One name means more. Greenway Auto Mall, where you always see more cars and save more money. Now, at the Greenway, a fully equipped 91 Geostorm, including airbag, only $9,995. A high-performance car that doesn't cost like one.
I'm Bob Hall. We are here to make sure that you are completely satisfied with the vehicle you purchased and the service we give you, both now and on down the road.
The Greenway Auto Mall, where one name means more.
Drive home safe. Remember to strap yourselves in with your safety belts. You don't want to end up like Eddie. Belt up. Don't be a dummy.
KIMA NewsBeat and the CBS Evening News have always been there when the important stories break. And now, CNN Headline News joins this successful team. CNN Headline News weekdays at 12:05 following KIMA NewsBeat's 5-minute local update at noon. CNN Headline News, KIMA NewsBeat, and the CBS Evening News. A winning combination in news coverage only on KIMA TV.
Boy, they're sure getting the thunderstorms back east.
Really are, all the way from Connecticut down through Ohio. That's where the thunderstorms have been occurring today, with winds gusting to as much as 60 miles per hour at Bridgeport, Connecticut, snapping off telephone poles. Also, they think they had a couple of small tornadoes near Youngstown, Ohio earlier today. Meantime, we are getting some storms over the Pacific Northwest. They're well to the south and to the east of us, though. Green and yellow is where radar is picking up the precipitation. Got a good-sized lightning storm just around Mount Hood to the south southeast of Portland tonight. They recorded something like 77 lightning strikes in a half-hour period. That system beginning to die out, should be dissipated by midnight, and it's been moving real slowly to the northwest. Other little heavier activities are being reported in the southwestern corner of Montana, all in conjunction with an upper-level low-pressure system located over California that continues to circulate some moisture across that heated ground that produces the afternoon thunderstorm activity and convection. 74 the current reading in the mountains at Stampede Pass, 79 in Wenatchee, the same for Spokane. Seattle now down to 77 degrees. We have cooler air coming in off the Pacific that'll be invading the west side of the state, causing temperatures to be as much as 20 degrees cooler along the coastal beaches of Washington and Oregon for tomorrow. Even moving into the Puget Sound area by Thursday, we'll have some of that cooler ocean air beginning to spill over the Cascades. That should help us drop those daytime high temperatures to right around the normal mark, upper 80s to the lower 90s for much of the area. And helping along with that push of cooler air across the Cascades will be this week frontal system and trough of low pressure that's expected to pretty much split over the Pacific Northwest, sending one branch south of us, the other main branch to the north of us through British Columbia. For the weekend, not too much change. Expect more warm temperatures and an afternoon chance of showers or thunder showers. It'll be a little cooler over on the west side, chance of showers or thunder showers, mainly Cascades and other parts of eastern Washington tomorrow. Now the forecast for tonight, fair except some high clouds with a low by morning of 58. Tomorrow morning at 8, partly cloudy and 67. At noon, it'll be a little cooler, not quite so hot, 86. The high temperature tomorrow should top out at 93 with a chance of thunder showers. Low temperature tomorrow night, 58 degrees. Extended forecast, mostly sunny through the weekend with high temperatures about normal.
Okay. Arcade video games have come a long way since the first Space Invaders games hit the game rooms back in the late 70s. Now the technology is taking another leap forward with video games that literally leap out at the players.
The name of the game is Time Traveler. It's a game that takes the player from prehistoric times to the future, fighting bad guys all along the way. The game just hit the arcades, and video game players have been standing in line to give it a try.
Oh yeah, this is gonna catch on, definitely. This is a wild game.
The reason for all this excitement is the way the game works. Instead of playing the game on a regular TV screen, the images from this game are projected as holograms. It's like the characters are really inside the machine, following the commands of the time-traveling player.
Don't forget about your time reversal cue!
It's nothing like I've ever seen before, this video game. It's pretty cool. The hologram.
The game incorporates a laser video disc and a special projection system that gives the images a 3D effect. Video arcade operators consider this hologram-type game the wave of the future and expect all video games to one day use hologram imaging as the technology becomes more sophisticated.
I'd like to see more games like Time Traveler. I'd like to see them on a larger screen. But since this is the first production model of this type of game, I'm sure it'll be about 2 years down the road and we'll see the game on a 25-inch monitor.
But even this first hologram game has players willing to drop in their tokens for a few minutes of time traveling through video game history.
These challenges and more await you should you dare to enter the world.